What are the differences between a river, a stream, and a creek? There are three fundamental characteristics that differentiate these types of watercourses: the scope, the development, and what interests us most, those of us who have studied hydrogeological risk, the response time. First of all, let's give a minimal and simplified definition of scope. The flow, in our context, is the amount of water that flows inside the bed or channel of a river, a stream, or a creek. The river is a wide and permanent watercourse. In contrast, the stream has a lower flow rate compared to a river and is characterized by its seasonal nature. The stream, finally, has a flow in comparison to that of the watercourses already considered, which is almost insignificant and episodic. This means that the riverbed, even during periods of extreme drought, will never be completely dry. The moment when the flow of a river is reduced to a minimum is called demagra. The bed of a stream, on the other hand, is dry for most of the year, that is, totally devoid of water. Only from the second half of autumn to the first half of spring, in fact, it is possible to record water levels above zero. The stream's bed ultimately becomes filled solely during rainfall of moderate intensity and then quickly dries up once it stops. In terms of development, the river primarily depends on mountain springs for its nourishment and sustenance. Minor watercourses, conversely, are more closely linked to precipitation and thus to the gathering of surface rainwater. The river, then, usually flows more calmly, following a mostly straight path without excessive slopes. The torrents, on the other hand, wind sinuously through more pronounced curves and slopes. The rivers, finally, have an even more nervous trend, often fragmented because they are forced to carve out increasingly narrow and artificial spaces due to growing urbanization. The response time of a watercourse is the duration that passes between the onset of precipitation and the point at which, on the hydrometric chart, the initial guard level is attained. Rivers generally have lengthy response times, typically spanning several hours, which enable the population to promptly ensure their safety. On the other hand, torrential rains respond much more quickly, with times that can decrease to a few tenths of minutes, thus exposing the population to greater hydrogeological risks.